Should you be yourself to get your ex back? I'm going to talk about that and more. So first of all, what does it even mean to be yourself? We would say, well, that's naturally who I am when I'm not trying to put on a show, or I'm not trying to get attention, or I'm not trying to appear amazing and awesome beyond what I actually am. So being yourself is just being your natural self, being who you really are. But the interesting thing about that is that most of us, if we're being honest, would say we change some each day. So what was the real me yesterday is slightly different than what is the real me today. And I'm sure the same applies to you as well. Most people are that way. That's normal and natural as just part of life and adjusting and learning and adapting as things go. And you will hear this advice a lot of times that you should be yourself because that way they are in love with the real you, which has better long-term survival rates. And you know what? That's actually true. You should be yourself if you're in a relationship with this person. But after the breakup, that's where things get a little more complicated. And here's why. None of us are perfect. And anyone who says that they are obviously very mistaken. And so while being ourselves is more natural, that doesn't mean that every instinct, every inclination, and every desire that we have is right or will benefit us. One of the hallmarks of people who are successful is that they can delay gratification. In other words, they can work on something today and they don't get it today. They can work on it tomorrow and they don't get it tomorrow, but they know that they can get it in the future. But if we were to ask them, just being yourself, being natural, do you want it today? Well, yeah, I do, but you're not going to get it today. Do they ever want to quit? Yes, they do. And if they were giving in to their natural selves, their natural desire, they'd stop. Right? When you're on a diet because you want to look better, you want to be healthier, you want to live longer, there are plenty of times when that Snickers bar calls to you. You drive by an ice cream shop and that little voice says, come get me. You want the ice cream, but you don't want the ice cream because you want to look good. You want to lose weight. You want to be healthier. That's what you want, but you also want the ice cream. So humans are these creatures who have this duel going on in their mind over things that they want. And a lot of times we have to ask ourselves, what do we want most of all? Because there's going to be many things that you want. What you want in the moment, what you want 10 hours from now, 10 days from now, 10 months from now, and 10 years from now. And those things will look very different. If we were to sit here and we made a big circle, all the people who are watching, and we went by one and asked, what do you want right now? Those answers would be very different than if we asked them tomorrow. Now, of course, you may be thinking, well, I want my ex back. I know. And it would be best if you could see your ex coming back to you as something similar to losing weight, achieving something physically, achieving business success. You have to delay gratification. And even at that, you have to accept the concept. You have to accept the possibility that they may not come back. I know that's not fun, and that's not what I'm about here. I want to give you the best chance of getting your ex back, but you have to know that there's a possibility that they don't come back. That being said, if you will discipline yourself and exercise discipline and delayed gratification, you give yourself the best chance of getting your ex back. It's similar to the temptation of something you shouldn't eat. You want it, but you also want to be fit and trim and attractive and healthy. Very similar here. And so right now, if I said, what do you want in this second? You'd say, I want my ex back. I'd say, yes, but what does that mean? And we dissect it a little, and I would hear you probably say, I want to talk to them. I want to see them. I know you do. That's perfectly natural. And so that's why no contact is so difficult, is that you are dealing with what you want in the moment versus what you want in the future, versus what you want long term, versus what you want, hopefully, maybe for life. It's like two different wars going on in your mind, in your heart. I remember a coaching session several years ago where there was a man, and I really thought he grasped the concept that he had to stay away right now, that we had to give her time and see how she responded to it in order to know what to do next, in order to know if this could work, in order to know if he should just try to move on with his life or if they are going to get back together. Things were going well. As a matter of fact, she had made a couple of decisions that seemed to suggest she thought there was still possibility for a future. And I said, look, focus on yourself. Put the possibility off right now about you two being together. You'll pick that back up later. For now, you need to stay away and do other things in life. It seemed like things were really clear. About a week later, he scheduled an emergency coaching session, which means I was booked out, and he offered double to talk to me that day. And since he said emergency, I really felt like I just needed to talk to him, so I did. And one of the first things he said was, I broke no contact. But here's why. And those excuses are always justifications. A lot of times you will do what your emotions and your desires tell you to do and then try to justify it with logic instead of using logic to lead your heart. And that's what he had done. And he said, but before you say anything, I know that you think that I shouldn't, but I just want you to know I did that because that would be my authentic self. If I wasn't contacting her, since I wanted to so badly, I would be going against my heart and it wouldn't be the real me. And he said that as though I was going to say, oh, well, yeah, you make a good point. So you totally should have just contacted her. I didn't say that. I actually said, I don't understand the point of you paying me to coach you if you're not going to listen to what I say. And again, he hit me with I was being authentic. I was being my true self. No, you weren't. Because if I had been my true self, I would have grabbed a Snickers bar when I was trying to lose weight. I would have stopped running when I was tired. I would have stayed in bed when the alarm clock went off, but I knew I needed to get up and go to work so I could support my family. So which is the true self there? Is it giving into the moment, or is it saying, no, I want this more than I want this moment? There is something that I want more than just making myself happy at this exact second. And so I just have to ask, which one of those is your true self? Is it giving into the moment when you know that this could hurt you as far as getting what you want in the future or what you want long term? Which one is your true self? Now you hear me say it a lot. Stay in the moment. Take it one day at a time. Stay in the seconds in front of you. And that's very true. But you use that in order to accomplish what you want in the future. You use this second to remind yourself to stay true, to stay strong, to stay disciplined, to stick to the plan. That is being yourself. That is being your true self and being authentic. And so I hope this encourages you, whatever your goal is. Sometimes being your true self is saying no to that little voice that wants you to give in the moment instead of sticking to the path and the plan so that you can have what you want long term and you can be who you want to be. If we gave into everything in every moment, whenever we wanted it, just like a fish that will bite at a shiny hook without thinking about it, just because it's instinctive, that's not always the right thing to do. That's one of the reasons you have both a mind and you have emotion. They both help you stay on your path and be yourself. And so don't confuse what you want and what you desire with who you are. Because if you do, one day you will come face to face with yourself and you will be disappointed in yourself. At the end screen here, there's a thumbnail for a video called, Does Your Ex Have Reunion Resistance? And I'm going to talk about some of the reasons that your ex might not be doing the things that they would normally be expected to do if they wanted to get back together with you, and why that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want to get back together with you or that they won't. It's an important video. Click on the thumbnail to watch it. Thank you for subscribing. This has been Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.